Okay, so when you think about the wealthiest royal families in the world, who comes to mind first? Maybe the British royals, or perhaps some European dynasty with vaults of treasure built up over centuries. Well, what if I told you the answer is probably not who you're thinking of, and that their fortune it isn't just old money. It's this active, dynamic force really shaping our world today. Today, we're doing a deep dive into the House of Saud's wealth. It's on an unprecedented scale. We're going to look at how they built it, how immense it is, and importantly, its unique global impact. And we're drawing heavily from our source material, the unfathomable fortune of the House of Saud.
Yeah, and this is really more than just about, big numbers. It's fascinating because it's this unique intersection of, well, massive wealth, state power, and truly global influence. It's a setup unlike almost anything else today. We're looking at a system where, honestly, public money and private benefit get very, very blurred.
Okay, so let's try and unpack that. When we talk about the sheer scale, what kind of figures are we actually dealing with here? I suspect they're pretty staggering.
Oh, they absolutely are. The estimates you see, they range from, let's say, hundreds of billions up to well over $1 trillion. But it's important to understand why the figures are a bit hazy. It's almost by design. The wealth is essentially woven directly into the state itself. It deliberately blurs those lines, between public revenue and what you might call private privilege.
Right, that blurring, it really makes you think. Because this isn't like the typical royal fortune we imagine, right?
Yeah.
Like jewels in a vault or old land. This feels much more alive, active.
Exactly. It's much more dynamic. The best way to think about it really is as a living, flowing river of capital. And that concept is pretty central to understanding how it works, how it keeps regenerating. It's not just sitting there. It's constantly moving, being reinvested.
Okay, a living river of capital. So speaking of its source, let's go back. Where did this vast fortune actually originate? What was the spark?
Well, you have to trace it back to 1938. That was the key moment, the discovery of oil in Duran. It turned out that Saudi Arabia was sitting on top of one of the absolute largest proven oil reserves anywhere in the world. That resource, that oil, became the foundation.
And it wasn't just a resource, was it? Pretty
Yeah.
quickly, it became absolutely vital for the whole world, sort of the lifeblood for the global economy.
Precisely. And the ruling family, the House of Saud, they oversaw the creation of Saudi Aramco, the oil giant that eventually became the most profitable company on earth. Its valuation went past $2 trillion.
$2 trillion.
Wow. And Aramco, it's really more than a corporation. It's described as the beating economic heart of the nation. And by extension, it's the fundamental source of the House of Saud's, well, unprecedented fortune. It powers everything else we're talking about.
So you have this immense wealth flowing from oil, this living river. How is it actually managed? How does it get distributed? And, where does its influence reach globally?
Okay, so the oil money, it pours into the state's accounts, right? But then a huge amount of it gets channeled. It goes through state projects, massive investments, and these things called sovereign wealth funds, which the royal family directly or indirectly controls. Think of sovereign wealth funds as like state-owned investment portfolios designed for long-term national wealth. And the families reach through all this. It's astonishing. It extends into pretty much every sector: real estate, aviation, banking, big tech, even international sports lately.
Can you give us some specific examples just to help us picture the sheer scale of these global investments?
Sure. So you're looking at things like owning towering skyscrapers in Riyadh, obviously, but also luxury hotels in Paris. They hold significant shares in major tech companies, names you'd definitely recognize. And maybe more subtly, they wield influence in the energy policies of nations half a world away. Their investments carry weight.
And you mentioned the family is huge, numbers in the thousands. So how does this wealth actually get distributed within the family? Is it concentrated or spread out?
Yeah, the family is vast, definitely thousands of princes and princesses. But the analysis suggests that it's really the inner circle that holds the most power and controls the bulk of the wealth. For these, top-tier members, the lines between their personal finances and the state's resources are incredibly blurry. And their lifestyles, they really redefine opulence. We're talking about palaces rising like cities unto themselves, fleets of private jets crisscrossing continents. It's a level of wealth that's hard for most people to even imagine.
That kind of opulence is definitely eye-catching. But let's shift gears a bit from the luxury side to the power aspect. What's the real leverage this fortune provides beyond just fancy living?
Ah, yes, that's a crucial point. The power isn't just in the spending, the luxury, it's really in the leverage. Their control, direct control over such a huge chunk of the world's most strategic energy supply, oil, that gives the House of Saud this unique geopolitical weight.
So oil isn't just another commodity in this context. It becomes more like a tool.
Exactly. It's far more than just something you buy and sell. Oil is not just a commodity, it is a bargaining chip in diplomacy, a tool for shaping alliances, and, crucially, in times of crisis, a weapon capable of tilting the global balance. And you see this play out all the time, when they adjust production, economies tremble. It's true. When they invest abroad, markets take notice. Their economic moves have global consequences almost immediately.
So bringing it all together then, when we compare the House of Saud's wealth to, say, other royal families like the British monarchy, what really makes it stand out as unique? It seems fundamentally different.
Well, it's that combination, that fusion, really. The fusion of controlling a vital resource, holding absolute state authority, and having this immense global financial reach. Unlike maybe older royal fortunes that are more like historical artifacts, their wealth isn't a relic of the past. It's a force that continually regenerates. It's constantly being renewed. And it's powered by two things, really. The modern world's insatiable demand for energy and the political structure of the kingdom itself.
And looking forward, what's the perspective on how long this can last? I mean, as long as the world needs oil.
That seems to be the assessment, yes. The conclusion is pretty clear. As long as the world runs on oil and as long as the Saudi state remains under their rule, quote, the House of Saud will likely continue to reign as the richest royal family on earth, their fortunes as boundless, as the source puts it, as the desert horizon that surrounds them. It's tied directly to that resource and their control over it.
Wow. So that wraps up our deep dive into the House of Saud, a place where state wealth and private fortune are almost indistinguishable, and where this oil-fueled empire gives them just profound geopolitical influence. It really shows how wealth, when it's combined with state control and a critical global resource, well, it creates leverage like almost nothing else.
Absolutely. And maybe a final thought for you, the listener, to chew on. If or perhaps when the world starts seriously shifting away from oil, what happens then? What does this very unique model of state-linked, resource-based wealth mean for global power down the road? Will that living river of capital just find new streams? Or, will the foundation eventually shift? It's a huge question for the future.
Definitely some powerful questions to think about long after we finish here. We hope this exploration has given you maybe a different lens through which to view wealth, power, and global influence today.